The 1st Armoured Infantry Brigade is an infantry brigade of the British Army with a long history including service during both World War I and World War II. It is based at Tidworth Camp. Previously it has been designated 1st Brigade, 1st Infantry Brigade, 1st Mechanised Brigade, and under Army 2020 will take up the 1st Armoured Infantry Brigade title. First World War. Initially designated as the 1st Brigade, the brigade was part of 1st Division during the First World War. Upon creation of the Guards Division in August 1915, the brigade lost 1st Battalion, Coldstream Guards and 1st Battalion, Scots Guards, both to 2nd Guards Brigade, and was redesignated without the Guards reference in its title as the 1st Brigade. It was with the 1st Division on the Western Front throughout the war. It saw action at the Battle of Mons and subsequent Great Retreat, the First Battle of the Marne, the First Battle of the Aisne, the First Battle of Ypres, the Battle of Loos, the Battle of Aubers Ridge, the Battle of the Somme, the Battle of Passchendaele, the Battle of Pozières and the Battle of Appéhy, part of the final 100 Days Offensive, which broke the back of the German army, leading to an armistice. Order of battle. The brigade was composed as follows during the war: 1st Battalion, Coldstream Guards, 1st Battalion, Scots Guards, 1st Battalion, Black Watch, 2nd Battalion, Royal Munster Fusiliers, 1st Battalion, Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders, 14th Battalion, London Regiment, 10th Battalion, Gloucestershire Regiment, 8th Battalion, Royal Berkshire Regiment, 1st Machine Gun Company, Machine Gun Corps, 1st Trench Mortar Battery, 1st Battalion, Loyal Regiment. Second World War. Remaining active during the interwar period as the 1st Brigade, the brigade, still part of the 1st Infantry Division, was sent to France in September 1939 during World War II as part of the British Expeditionary Force, and it later took part in the Battle of France in May to June 1940 and the subsequent Battle of Dunkirk, and were evacuated to England, spending the next few years on home defense anticipating a German invasion of England. On the 11th of April 1942 the brigade was redesignated and reorganized as 1st Independent Brigade Group with its own support units, until August when it was transferred to the 78th Infantry Division. In late 1942 it took part in the North African campaign in Operation Torch, the Allied landings in French North Africa, arriving in Algiers in November 1942. The brigade participated in the Run for Tunis and was transferred to the 6th Armoured Division in early 1943 and saw action in the Tunisia campaign, at the Battle of Fondue, Battle of El Qudsiya and Battle of Tunis in April and May 1943. Subsequently, the 1st Brigade served on the Italian front for the rest of the war under command of various divisions, seeing action in the Battle of Monte Cassino and the Battle of Liri Valley in May 1944. The brigade then fought on the Gothic Line and in the spring 1945 offensive in Italy. Order of battle. The 1st Brigade was constituted as follows during the war: 3rd Battalion, Grenadier Guards, 2nd Battalion, Coldstream Guards, 2nd Battalion, Hampshire Regiment, 1st Infantry Brigade Anti-Tank Company, 8th Battalion, Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, 3rd Battalion, Welsh Guards, 1st Battalion, Welsh Regiment. Between the 11th of April 1942 and the 7th of August 1942 the following units formed the 1st Independent Brigade Group: 8th Battalion, Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, 1st Independent Brigade Group Machine Gun Company, 1st Battalion, Royal Northumberland Fusiliers, 1st Independent Brigade Group Reconnaissance Company, Reconnaissance Corps, 17th Field Regiment, Royal Artillery, 204th Anti-Tank Battery, Royal Artillery, 136th Light Anti-Aircraft Battery, Royal Artillery, 214th Field Company, Royal Engineers, 1st Independent Brigade Group Company, Royal Army Service Corps, 152nd Field Ambulance, Royal Army Medical Corps, 1st Independent Brigade Group Ordnance Company, Royal Army Service Corps. Commanders: the following officers commanded the brigade during the war: Brigadier M.B. Beckworth Smith, Lieutenant Colonel L. Bootle Wilbraham, Brigadier A.V. Copeland Griffiths, Brigadier S.A. Foster, Brigadier P.G.S. Gregson Ellis, Lieutenant Colonel A.G.W. Heber Percy, Brigadier J.C. Hayden, Brigadier C.A.M.D. Scott, Lieutenant Colonel E.J.B. Nelson, Brigadier G.L. Verney. Post-war. After the war, the brigade, having lost its Guards title, was transferred to Palestine for internal security duties and then to Egypt for a few months before going back to Palestine in April 1946. 2 years later, as the British mandate over Palestine ended, the brigade and division returned to Egypt. In October 1951, British forces pulled out of Egypt outside of the Suez Canal zone, and later the brigade returned to the United Kingdom, though it was in Cyprus during the EOKA insurgency for a period in 1957–8. By the early 1980s, the brigade, having been based in the UK for many years, formed the nucleus of the UK Mobile Force earmarked to reinforce Allied forces Northern Europe in the event of a Soviet invasion of Western Europe. After the end of the Cold War, it was reassigned as part of the new 3rd Division and subsequently became a mechanized brigade. In 1996 it was deployed to the former Republic of Yugoslavia, with multinational division. In 2000 it deployed to Sierra Leone, and in 2002 it deployed to Kosovo, Iraq. More recently it deployed to Iraq on Operation Telic, Afghanistan. The brigade was deployed to Afghanistan as part of Operation Herrick 18. It then deployed again in 2014, commanded by Brigadier Rupert Jones. Current formation. Under Army 2020, it was renamed as 1st Armoured Infantry Brigade and remained at Tidworth Camp, forming part of the reaction force. Brigade units in 2015 were Household Cavalry Regiment, Royal Tank Regiment, 1st Battalion, Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, 1st Battalion, Mercian Regiment, 4th Battalion, the Rifles. Brigade commanders. Recent commanders have included 1946 1947 Brigadier Junior Moore, 1947–1949 Brigadier G.F. Johnson, 1952–1954 Brigadier G.C. Gordon Lennox, 1997–1999 Brigadier J. McCall, 1999–2000 Brigadier J.P. Riley, 2001–2002 Brigadier S. Mayall, 2012–2014 Brigadier R.T.H. Jones.